So, a question I get as a chiropractor all the time is, how do I sleep? What's the right way to sleep? And there really is no cookie cutter answer for that. But let me walk you through where my chiro mind goes when I'm trying to think about what is appropriate for my body type. So, the first thing is I'm a belly sleeper. My preference is to lay on my belly, and I've had to figure out how to do that in a way that is safe and comfortable for my body. So, for laying on your belly, you're going to want a lighter pillow, right? You don't want a big, bulky thing because that's going to create too much backward head translation. So, Teddy Pop is our light pillow, and then white guy is our example of our thick pillow. Okay, so white pillow's thick. Teddy Pop over here is a lighter pillow. And laying on my belly, I'm going to be here, and I'm going to just feel if that feels appropriate. Maybe it's not enough support for me and I'm going down too far. Maybe it's too much, I'm going up too far. So you have to give yourself permission with all of these to play with the pillow you have underneath. Now, the big thing about sleeping on your belly is actually the low back. So sometimes I'll get some forward slippage of my L4, L5 area, those lower lumbars. And in those situations, what you're going to want to do is actually take that skinny pillow and throw it underneath your pelvis. So you have these sharp hip bones, the front of your ilium, and you're going to put it just underneath your belly button in between those sharp hip bones. And that's going to create some stability for L5, L4, and keep them from slipping forward and creating that soreness we get with that forward slippage. And you would just grab another pillow and you would lay on your belly. Obviously, you want to switch the direction that your head is in. You don't want to always lay down in right rotation. We want to, for just as much going this way, we want to go this way. Or if you have a known rotational restriction, you would want to rotate in the way where you have that restricted movement more, if that makes sense. So you're getting that passive stretch through the neck and being aware in that way. So that's belly sleeping. The big thing is throwing that pillow underneath the belly button and on the front of the pelvis there. It makes such a difference and actually allows the front of the hips and that tight psoas muscle to passively release. It's very therapeutic to do it in this way. You have to give yourself permission to play with the pillow type, though. That's going to be my repetitive message for all of this. Sleeping on our side, we want our pillow to be the same height, thickness between our shoulder and our ear. Okay. We don't want to have something that's having us crunched this way, too thick. We also don't want to have something too light where our head doesn't have enough support and our neck doesn't have enough support, which typically is the issue for people that have pain in their neck sleeping on their side. So something like this is good. Um, I would actually probably need something thicker than this, but because this headpiece is up a little bit, that's great. Now, I like to have a slight bend in my knees for stability. I'll also do a thing where I'll let my top leg come over and my left leg come under and do a nice little um, passive torsion twist. If that feels appropriate to you and you can hold that for a long time, that's totally okay as well. I think for most people, laying with their knees bent and stacked on top of each other is going to be appropriate. Now, if you don't feel like you have enough support, but you don't want to get a bigger pillow, you can always slip that hand underneath and kind of nuzzle the hand and the arm and figure out what feels appropriate to get your head nice and stable and supported. Now, here I am here, my head is supported and it feels good. And now the question becomes, what about this what about this shoulder if I'm falling forward too much and I get an achy shoulder? And what about my low back here? So typically the solution, if your shoulder's rounding forward, as my right shoulder often has a tendency to do, grab your small pillow, your little accessory pillow, and tuck it under your armpit, right? You might need a bigger pillow, and if you had a bigger pillow, you could hug it, right? Which is where those pregnancy pillows and just different accessory pillows, like using down pillows, using throw pillows, and just actually using those pillows to support and just create a really luxury supportive experience for your sleep, is something you need to give yourself permission for. So something like that. And then for the low back, a lot of times our core isn't fully activated, or we have a tendency to go into too much flexion with the pelvis. And what really helps is to actually throw a pillow between the legs. That's going to help you passively engage your core. And it actually makes it easier to straighten out those legs and put your spine closer to neutral. So just doing that, I already felt like, oh, my body wants to stretch those legs out further. And that's a big thing for laying on your side. You don't want to end in a C. That's going to start to create a lot of forward flexion and impingement of the discs over time. We want to get the spine to as neutral as possible with all of these positions. The last one is pretty simple. It's laying on your back. Um, and ideally, we're able to do it with no pillow when we're starting. So we're laying on our back. We got no pillow behind our head. And here we get to breathe and open up through the front of the chest. You can have your arms and hands resting on your belly or laying on your side. And this is a really good 5, 10, 20, 30-minute passive stretch to do to open up through the neck and the shoulders and the chest and get that vagal tone, that rest and digest rhythm activated before you go to sleep. So this is a really good just passive meditation as you're winding down at the end of the day. And then when you start to feel like it's too much of a strain, or it's getting uncomfortable, or you feel the back of your head is getting compressed because you're pushing into the mattress for too long, then you grab something like this or a roll pillow and you place it in between the nook of your shoulders and your neck. So you support the C-shaped curvature of your neck with the appropriate pillow, whether it's an actual foam roll or something like this that you're just utilizing. And here we go. There's my passive continued stretch through the front of the neck and through the upper back as I'm sleeping. Ideally, this is actually the best way to sleep for most of us. From a therapeutic passive stretch molding of the spine perspective. But it's just going to vary based on the day and based on how open your nervous system is to doing it in different ways. I don't typically lay on my back because I snore a little bit, but I wonder if I played with my with how much support I had and with that angle that my head is in, if that would be helpful for me to eliminate that snoring from the pharynx closing down. So those are my thoughts about sleep.